Gather round, boys and girls, because old Donnie is getting scared. Oh, he may act all tough about Judge Mershon's gag order.
I have to watch every word I tell you people.
But Mershon is not messing around. He straight up told Donald Trump, if you keep this up and you keep violating the gag order, I'm going to throw your ass in jail. So what does old douche canoe Donnie do? He hops on his failing social media site and does it again. He calls the judge crooked and highly conflicted and says no judge has ever run a trial in such a biased and partisan way. Dude, Donnie, you are your own worst enemy. How hard is it to keep your mouth shut when the judge tells you to? It's like trying to tell a kid not to go in the cookie jar. And then the next thing you know, everywhere you look, there's crumbs all over the place and the kid has chocolate smeared on his face. Look, I'm a mom. I know BS coming out of a child's mouth when I hear it.
I know words. I have the best word.
Then this asshat says, virtually all legal scholars say there is no case. What virtual reality are you living in?
I tested positively toward negative.
Now, I know Truth Social in and of itself is an oxymoron. I mean, there's obviously no truth, but the only socializing is between conspiracy theorists talking about, I don't know, lizard people and your aunt's neighbor's cousin's dog that told you in your sleep that Trump is the next Messiah sent down to save us all. You know, the usual. Now, back to Trump shaking in his depends. He may think he could push the boundaries of this gag order.
I'll do that sacrifice.
But I smell more crap than in my bathroom's bidet.
People are flushing toilets 10 times, 15 times.
There is no way in hell this guy, gold-plated bathroom in his home, won't stay in other kinds of hotels, germaphobe Donald Trump won't cry, stomp, and scream if the judge calls his bluff and actually throws him in jail. And that may be why shortly after Trump's stubby little fingers hit send on that Truth Social post, he deleted it. But old Donnie, the internet is forever. And someone was quicker than Donald Trump was in bed with Stormy Daniels and screenshot that post.
Really an ominous.
Now, we don't know if the judge will finally grant us the image we actually want to see of Donald Trump. But time is running out. And you know, I'd put my money on Donald Trump keeping that mouth and those fingers going. Okay, I've grossed myself out. But seriously, people, let's not forget what's on the line here.
How does a party survive?
It doesn't, Mitt. The GOP has jumped the shark. And no, not that cool.
Are we going to abandon truth?
Yes, because the Republican Party, for all intents and purposes, is gone. It's no longer the party of Reagan. It's the party of Trump and election lies and projecting the crimes you're actually committing.
Most of the evidence I've seen so far has been Republicans trying to corrupt the election.
Mitt Romney, Adam Kinzinger, and so many others tried to speak truth to power and then ended up either leaving the party or weren't reelected. We need people to speak out. I mean, look at someone like Liz Cheney, huge conservative, but was called a rhino, a Republican in name only, simply because she would not believe or share Trump's election BS.
He's betrayed millions and millions of people who believe his lies.
And now there's Republican Jeff Duncan, who is likely ending his political career because he will not bend the knee and stay silent.
I'm voting for a decent person that I disagree with on policies over a criminal defendant who has no moral compass. And that's not tough to argue, right? Those are proven facts.
There is no problem debating and disagreeing about the issues and policy. That's supposed to be what politics is, but it's not anymore. We don't talk about the issues and the facts. So many within the GOP just end up believing what comes out of this criminal's mouth.
Worst president in the history of our country who is cognitively impaired.
Because if we can't and we just let the violent MAGAs take over,
If someone's going to be intimidated by us carrying firearms, that's
They obviously need direction.
we will silence more of the voices we desperately need to hear.
The first time it was like gold digger, slut, whore, liar, whatever. And this time it's like, I'm gonna murder you.
So while it may seem funny that an ex-reality TV star turned lying, dangerous president is in court again, he is also again the GOP candidate for president. And if he gets reelected, who knows what will happen?
I think Georgians are going to vote against Donald Trump, right? I mean, at the end of the day, you have to win the suburbs in Georgia if you're going to win an election. Brian Kemp proved that. He won the suburbs. He showed them that he was a job creator. He was an honest human being. He did the right thing when it counted the most. And Donald Trump's not done that. When these court cases play out on TV in the suburbs, specifically women in the suburbs are paying attention to these cases, there's not a single one of them that's going, oh, you know what? I've changed my mind on this Donald Trump guy. He's just a fantastic human being. He's a perfect leader for our country. It's just not happening. And so I think as we get closer and closer to November, this election is going to pull further and further away from Donald Trump. And therefore, Joe Biden will end up walking away with this election.
And if there are fewer people willing to stick their neck out and we're just left with this,
you can be the most worthless Republican in America, but if you kiss the ring, he'll say you're wonderful. You can be the strongest, most dynamic, successful Republican and conservative in America, but if you don't kiss that ring, then he'll try to trash you.
So saddle up, boys and girls, stay focused, because there was one thing old Donnie got right.
And the most important day in the history of our country is going to be November 5th.
And it's not just Trump, but
The future of the democracy depends upon making sure the Republicans are not in the majority in the House and in the Senate.
so keep it right here as we call out all of the nonsense that is Donald Trump and MAGA.
He is definitely not the messiah of people for Iowa.
He's just a master manipulator. He doesn't believe anything. He just thinks he's smart enough to pull a wool over you.
And make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss a minute. We depend on people like you supporting channels like this so we can counter all the right-wing BS that has infected this country.
We don't have a Taylor Swift on our side, but you know who we have? We have Kid Rock, we have Ted Nugent, we have influencers, right? We have all these people, John Voight.
And our Patreon is the #1 way to do that. So donate whatever you can, and we'll be in this fight together. I'm Nikki Medoro. Until next time.
I know words. I have the best words.
Does anybody think anything's going to get done if Donald Trump's the president?
Republicans trying to corrupt the election.
Let's effing go.